You know, to really enter a new world, you first have to learn its language. And the best way to understand a philosophy, like Buddhism, isn't just through the big ideas, but through the actual words used to describe them. So today, we're going to learn that language and build that world together.
I just love this image. It perfectly captures that feeling of starting a journey, right? And that's exactly what we're about to do. We're going to build a world together, step by step, word by word, by creating a bilingual story that will make these new terms completely unforgettable.
All right, so where do we even begin? Well, we start with the absolute fundamentals, what we call this world, and the people who live in it. Okay, our first two words are the bedrock of everything. First, Buddhism. That's the name of the path itself, or as you'd say, Dalfen. And a Buddhist? Well, that's a person who follows that path, a Hanja foot Jiao. Simple enough, right? Let's see them in action.
And here's exactly how they fit into a real conversation. You could say, my family follows Buddhism. Or you could ask someone, are you a Buddhist? These are our first building blocks, the very first steps into our new world.
Okay, so we have our world and we have the people in it. But what holds it all together? We're about to explore the three core pillars of this belief system known as the three jewels.
I absolutely love how this slide breaks it down. Think of it like a three-legged stool. It needs all three parts to be stable. You've got the person, their teachings, and the community that follows them. Let's take a closer look at each one.
So first up, we have the Buddha. Now, this isn't just the founder's name. The name itself gives us a huge clue. It actually means the awakened one, which points directly to the ultimate goal of the path, to wake up. In Vietnamese, this is Duc Phật.
And this sentence just locks it in for us, doesn't it? It connects the two English terms we just learned, really reinforcing that shared meaning. The Buddha is the awakened one.
So, what did the Buddha share with the world after awakening? Well, that brings us to our second jewel, the Dhamma. These are the teachings, the wisdom. You can think of it as the how-to guide for the path. It's also known as Giao Pháp.
Let's just see this in a simple sentence. It's super direct, which really helps lock in the vocabulary. Buddha's teachings are known as Dhamma, a straight-up definition that's really easy to remember.
And that brings us to the third jewel. Teachings can't just exist in a vacuum. They have to be practiced and preserved by people. And that's the Sangha, the Buddhist community, or Tangdon. This is the living, breathing part of the path.
This image just illustrates the concept so perfectly. You can really see the community gathered together, learning. It makes you realize it's not just a word, it's a real group of people on a shared journey.
So, we have our foundation, the three jewels. Now let's start to populate our world by meeting some of the specific people who walk this path.
Two of the most central figures you'll ever encounter are the monk, or Vị Tăng, and the nun, or Vị Ni. These are the people who dedicate their entire lives to studying and practicing the Dhamma right there within the Sangha.
And here we can see them in context. A young monk in a temple and a nun teaching the Dhamma. Seeing these images and sentences together connects the vocabulary to real visual actions, which makes them so much easier to recall. Now, within that community, knowledge is passed down through a really vital relationship, the one between the master, or Sufu, and the disciple, or Day 2.
And these sentences show that relationship in practice. A master who is an abbot, a leader of a monastery, is preaching the Dhamma to his disciples. You can really start to see how all these different roles interact with each other.
Okay, we've learned about the people, the pillars, and the philosophy. Now for the fun part. Let's bring it all to life. We're going to see how all these words weave together to tell a single memorable story. This is a great trick for making any language so much easier to learn.
Okay, so our story begins with the very first words we learned. My family follows Buddhism, and we are Buddhists. It starts simply, just establishing our identity. Then, it brings in the awakened one, which of course reinforces what we just learned about the Buddha.
And the story continues, weaving in the three jewels. We learn Buddha's teachings with the Buddhist community. The sentence even uses the term triple gem to tie it all together, showing how we receive the Dhamma. It's all connecting.
And here's the conclusion. The guidance comes from monks and nuns, with a master teaching his disciples. In just a few sentences, every single word we've learned has found its place in a living story. That is the real power of narrative.
So here's the crucial point. Language isn't just a list of words. It's really a key that unlocks an entire world. By learning this vocabulary, you've actually taken the very first steps to understanding the structure, the people, and the core philosophy of Buddhism.
And as we finish up, I want to leave you with one of the most profound teachings from the Dhamma. It's a core concept that really underpins so much of Buddhist thought. Nothing is permanent. It's such a simple phrase, but it has immense depth. Definitely something to reflect on as you continue your journey.
So now it's your turn. We've built a world and we've told a story. The question is, what will you do with the key? Using the words you've learned today, what story can you tell? What sentence can you create to continue your own journey? Thanks so much for exploring with us.